Hey everybody, it's time for Chapter 18 of Alienated. I can't believe we're up to Chapter 18 already. But before we start, as always, I want to give a big shout out. A little bit different today. I'm not going to do a shout out to any one individual, but actually to a whole group, which is everybody who's been tuning in from Belmont. Hope everybody's staying safe, staying home, and having a bit of fun at home as well. Everyone at Belmont, big hello from me. Hope everybody's doing okay. So let's crack on. This is Chapter 18. Field of Pains. The next day in PE, I discovered the only thing worse than an impending magma-draining apocalypse. Football. Until Groom Lake, I'd only ever been to international schools, where football was a beautiful game that actually involved kicking a ball with your foot. Back in the States, however, they favored the bone-crushing Super Bowl version. Now, I could just about hold my own running around after a black and white ball, but avoiding death by blindside tackle was not my idea of a physical education. The heat was unbearable under the supposedly protective pads, but it was the humiliation that really stung. My dad had been the star quarterback in his glory days, but I was about flying rockets, not throwing balls. Being a rocket man is an all-consuming vocation. It's a calling. And when your every thought is way up above the Kármán line, it's pretty hard to care about who catches the pigskin on the ground. For me, football was just one giant reminder of 100 fumbled catches in a dozen backyards, my dad shaking his head in disappointment and going back inside for a pastrami sandwich and some NFL on the satellite. Now, on this particularly scorching Groom Lake afternoon, I was cast as the wide receiver. My motivation was apparently to catch the ball, but what really motivated me was staying alive on the field. Octo was the quarterback of my team and Houston the kicker. The girls were in the gym, in the air conditioning, playing basketball, so it was just us guys on the field. And testosterone, or whatever aliens have, was off its leash. Anyone I should watch out for? I asked Octo, scanning the opposing team for threats. The giant scorpion, Octo whispered into my helmet, definitely wants to pulverize you. The scorpion was the linebacker for the other team, a 7-foot mass of black, gnarly armor with a couple of claws the size of sofa cushions. He strutted around upright on his spindly hind claws, and instead of arching his tail over his head like the regular-sized Nevada desert scorps, he dragged it across the ground menacingly. I was keen to avoid him, but Octo was right. The Scorp seemed to have it in for me. And, just to spice things up, Coach Khan's phone rang. The missus again. And he put the Scorpion in charge of the game. What if he stings me? I asked. Your head will probably turn purple and swell until sweet death saves you from an unimaginable agony, Octo answered cheerfully. But he'll likely be expelled, added Houston. Did we steal his lunch table or something? I wondered. Like he'd let us, scoffed Octo. One of the Ned's henchmen, maybe? Nope, Octo said. Varsity through and through. Super jock. Name's Atawi. Then what? Atawi blew his whistle, threw it on the turf, spit, then banged his claws together. Listen up, he said with a slight hiss. Run the play again, but this time leave the new kid to me. Great. That meant when the Ajabat playing center snapped the ball to Octo and I ran downfield in a hopeless attempt to catch Octo's pass, it would be the interstellar Scorpion with the mystery grudge and lethal stinger who tackled me. You'll be fine, Sherman, Octo said, lining up the scrimmage. Just remember my advice. I took my stance, prepared to die. 27, 49, Octo called. Advice? I yelled. Run faster than him, Octo said. 72, 39. The Ajabat snapped the ball to Octo, and I ran as fast as I could. Octo hurled a perfect spiral in my direction. As it soared, I wonder if Sonia's eggcraft would be more arrow-efficient if it spiraled like a football, and whether slam! Atawi hit me like a truck squishing a squirrel. He pinned me down and growled into my helmet, which I was pretty sure would have to be surgically removed. Heard about your airborne maneuvers, Squishy, he hissed. Outrunning the Air Force isn't easily done. Consider yourself recruited. I grunted. For what? Rocket races. And I'm sponsoring you, so don't let me down. So he wasn't going to sting me yet. For a full second, the world was undeniably a wonderful place again. But then reality sank in. And all I could think of were gulags. Dark, dangerous, death-bringing gulags. I'm really sorry, I said, but I'm not your guy. I'll go to prison if I touch a rocket. That's your problem, Adawi whispered. So unless you want to feel the sharp end of my stinger, I'd get yourself a crew together and get prepared. Trials are in 5 weeks. I'll think about it, I said, weighing up a sudden death by scorpion against the cruel, slow expiration in a gulag. Don't think too hard, he said, clicking his claw against my helmet. You might hurt your head. He sprang off me and resumed his stand-in coaching duties. Octo scooped me up, hauled me to the touchline, and checked my vitals. You'll live, he said. Guess he didn't like the taste of you. He wants to recruit me for the rocket races? That's huge, Octo shouted. Yeah, a huge problem, I said. He's going to kill me if I don't race, but I'm as good as dead if I do. You know I'm not allowed to anywhere near rockets. Well, it's what I call a high-class problem, he said. Look, only the cool kids compete in the rocket races, and if you race, then you'll be cool too. Plus, it's a universal truth that chicks dig guys that go fast. It's a surefire way to impress Juliet. I didn't want to argue with his logic, nor ask why he considered himself such an expert on human dating dynamics, because he did have a point. All of the fighter pilots I'd met had always had pretty wives or girlfriends. But if I'm caught racing, I'm toast. Maybe I should just get Juliet to like me for, well, me. Houston laughed, joining our huddle. Don't take this the wrong way, Octo said, hoisting me to my feet, but you're no teen idol. And you're not exactly all-American on the field. Dude, I hate to break it to you, but you are not exactly cool. First Houston and Sonia, then Octo? Where was the loyalty? Octo, you're not exactly an authority on cool, I said, trying to keep my confidence. But I'm not trying to date a deity, he said. For a guy like you to get a girl like Juliet, especially to get a girl like Juliet to the prom, you've got only one option. Which is, I asked? You've got to defy the terrifying odds and somehow become cool by being seen doing something cool way, way, way better than anyone else. I slumped. He was right. And you, buckaroo, he said, have just one skill set to draw on there. But if I'm going to race a rocket, I'm going to need a disguise, I said. Something really good that'll fool everyone except for Juliet. I knew, no, someone who can help there, offered Houston cryptically. I can get you a disguise. Octo patted us both on our backs with his tentacles. Then we meet at the hangar tonight, Rocket Man. All right, so that's chapter 18. Thanks everybody for tuning in and for listening. Come back tomorrow for chapter 19. Hope everybody's staying in, staying safe, and thanks for listening. Take care.